up, YouTube? Thomas Hill here. Since this week is CinemaCon, which of course takes place in Las Vegas, and since Jimmy Kimmel is having his show live in Las Vegas, I decided to do my top 10 favorite Vegas movies. I mean, I've never been to Vegas before, but I've always wanted to go. But I mean, Vegas is way too expensive and all. But maybe one of these days I'll probably take a trip to Vegas. Who knows? But anyway, there have been so many really good Vegas movies over the years that I've really enjoyed it. All. So that being said, here's my 10 favorite Vegas movies. Coming in at number 10 is a classic, and that is Viva Las Vegas, which stars famed rock and roller Elvis Presley, who of course was the king of rock and roll. And in it, Elvis Presley plays a gifted race driver named Lucky Jackson who wants to go to Las Vegas to score enough money for like a new car motor, so like he could win the Grand Prix. So while there, he encounters a swimming instructor named Rusty, played by Anne Margaret, and he considers staying around longer. And so, like after he loses his winning in the hotel pool, he's forced to remain in Vegas long enough to win back his dough. But now he also wants to win the Rusty's heart, and unfortunately, so he pretty much also he does, and so his slick racing enemy, as well as his slick racing enemy named Elmo, played by Cesar Novoa. This movie is a really classic. I mean, it's of course one of to me, it's probably one of Elvis's best films. I mean, he was a great singer. Sometimes his acting was a little off, to be honest with you, but this is maybe one of his better movies he's done. He was great here, and of course, it gave us his classic song, "Viva Las Vegas." Elvis really sang that song really well, and it had a really good story. I mean, it was also a musical as well, so there's that. It's a really good film, and Elvis and Anne Margaret, those two work together really well. They also did like Blue Hawaii together. They were really good at acting together back in the days. I mean, if you guys never seen Viva Las Vegas yet, it's a really good. It's a classic one. All right, coming in at number 9, it might be a little unpopular opinion, but I don't care to say what's unpopular or not. I'm just gonna say it. My number 9 favorite is Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. I don't care what anyone says. I really love the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. I mean, this is pretty much like a prequel to the Flintstones, where Fred meets Wilma, and Betty ends up being and Barney ends up being Betty and all. And of course, they decide to take a trip to Las Vegas, and you got Alan Cumming as two parts here. Alan Cumming plays both Mick Jagger, and he voices the Great Gazoo. And I mean, Alan Cumming as Mick Jagger was great. Like when I first saw this, I did not even knew that was Alan Cumming playing the role. I literally thought that they just got Mick Jagger and cast him as a part. And of course, they had the song Viva Rock Vegas, which is of course a different version of the Elvis one. And I mean, it makes sense you should have the Rolling Stones in there because I mean, come on, Stones, Flintstones, kind of makes sense. And also, Stephen Baldwin, him as Barney Rubbles was perfect. I mean, Rick Moranis, he was a pretty good Barney Rubbles, but I think Stephen Baldwin played the role of Barney Rubbles much better than Rick Moranis did. And Mark Addy, he was a pretty good Fred Flintstone. I thought he played the role perfectly. Mark Addy, by the way, is best known for Game of Thrones, so there's that. But yeah, I guess I could say it's more of a guilty pleasure of mine, but I really love this movie. I mean, it's not great, nothing like that. There's also some very cringy moments in this movie, but I really enjoyed it. And Fred, like, he ends up gambling a lot. I mean, in this they made Fred Flintstone a gambling addict. Like, who knew that Fred Flintstone could ever be an addict to gambling? So, and whoever knew that Vegas and was around in the caveman world. I mean, I really never knew that, to be honest, yeah, but anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I mean, I still own it on VHS, and I'll watch it once in a while. I mean, it's a to me, it's a fun, entertaining film, and I could watch this movie over again. Still never get tired of it. I know lots of people hate this movie. Like the Rotten Tomatoes score isn't really the best, and lots of people call it the worst film and all that. But I don't care what anyone says. I really enjoyed The Rock Vegas. Coming in at number 8 is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now, this is based on a book by Hunter S. Thompson, and it stars Johnny Depp as Raul Duke and Benicio del Toro as Duke's attorney, Dr. Gonzo, who drives a convertible across the Mojave Desert to Las Vegas with a suitcase full of drugs to uncover a motorcycle race. And there comes consumption of the drugs, increases at a alarming rate, and so the duo ends up trashing their hotel room and fearfully go and all that, and of course they're in Las Vegas and all that. Lots of shenanigans end up happening. I mean, this movie was directed by Terry Gilliam. He did a great job at directing. I really like the chemistry between Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro. Cameron Diaz was in this. You also had Gary Busey as the cop that they have a run-in with. This movie was nuts. I mean, I never read the Hunter S. Thompson book or anything like that, but the movie version I really enjoyed. It's a '90s cult classic. If you guys never seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it's another Vegas movie worth checking out. Coming in at number 7 is Rayman, directed by the great Barry Levinson and starring Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. Now, Dustin Hoffman, of course, plays the title role of Rayman, who's like the brother, like the younger brother of oh, not young. I meant to say older brother of Tom Cruise. And Dustin Hoffman was great here. I mean, the scenes where he's like, gambling and all that was really fun to watch. And the scene where Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman are coming down from the escalator to head into the gambling casino, that's an iconic scene right there. And I really like the chemistry between both Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. They were both really great here. And Barry Levinson did a great job at directing. Rayman is a classic. The movie got released in 1988, and I think 87, somewhere around that time. It's still worth a watch. I mean, I really love this movie, and believe it or not, this film is actually the first R-rated movie that old school actually shown. It's like the first R-rated movie I've ever seen in a classroom. So there's a little tidbit for you there, because in school they can't really show R-rated stuff and all, but my teacher back in the days was cool enough, so he was like, Rayman wasn't that bad, so he put in Rayman, and yeah, I mean, Rayman is a classic. Any school should show Rayman. I mean, I don't care if it's rated R or what. It's a film that's perfect for schools. To be honest, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Rayman is just awesome, and it's also one of my favorite gambling movies as well. I could watch this movie tons of times. And Dustin Hoffman, of course, won his Oscar for this. A well-deserving win. I mean, it's pretty much his best performance ever, in my opinion. Coming in at number 6 is Las Vegas. Las Vegas is great. I mean, it features some legends in this. The leads in this includes Michael Douglas, Robert De Niro, Kevin Kline, and Morgan Freeman, who of course attend Vegas to so they could have like a bachelor party with because their friend played by Michael Douglas is of course getting married, so they decided to have a bachelor party in Vegas, and this is like the Hangover for old people. To be honest, yeah, I know that's a little weird to really mention, but this is the Hangover for the elderlies. It's really funny. I mean, I really like the chemistry between De Niro, Klein, Freeman. Michael Douglas was great in this. I always keep forgetting how good Michael Douglas is when it comes to comedy because he was really good. And I keep forgetting how good Kevin Kline is with comedy because he stole loads of scenes in this. Also, you had Mary Steenburgen. There's a funny cameo by LMFAO. Their cameo is pretty funny in this. Yeah, I mean, it's a really awesome Vegas movie. It's really funny. It has a lot of heart in it. If you guys never seen Las Vegas yet, it's worth a watch. Coming in at number 5 is Ocean's 11. Now here it stars George Clooney as Danny Ocean, who ends up who pretty much wants to rob a casino with a couple of his fellow buddies. Of course, they're led by besides Clooney, they're also his friends are also led by Matt Damon, Brad Pitt. You also had Bernie Mac in this, Don Cheadle, um, Catherine Zeta-Jones was in this. Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13 are both great. I mean, they're pretty much going to rob a casino, and that's pretty interesting to watch on screen, I guess. I mean, I guess you can't really call a full-on Vegas movie, to be honest with you, because it's not really all about Vegas. But it's still a really good one. I mean, I really love this movie. And also, Ocean's 8, the one with Sandra Bullock, that was pretty good too, but Ocean's 11 is pretty much the best out of all of them. Coming in at number 4 is Leaving Las Vegas. Now here, Nick Cage stars as a screenwriter named Ben Sanderson, who decides to go to Vegas so he can drink himself to death. And he also ends up falling for a prostitute played by Elizabeth Shue. This movie actually made me sort of have a crush on Elizabeth Shue. She was terrific here. And this movie also won Nick Cage his Oscar, which well deserving. I mean, you know, when Nicolas Cage is on his game, he could be really talented. Like he's a really great actor, and he gave a great performance here. Of course, in a lot of scenes he gambled a lot, and he's not really. I guess can't really say he's a likable guy because he's really not that likable, to be honest with you. But Nick Cage was still great here, and Elizabeth Shue I loved in this. Really good film. I mean, you also had Richard Lewis. He was really good here. If you guys never seen Leaving Las Vegas, it's definitely worth a watch. Coming in at number 3 is Bugsy. Now here, this film stars Warren Beatty as famed New York mobster Benjamin Bugsy Siegel, who of course ends up leaves New York City to dip and ends up moving to Las Vegas, Nevada. The film also has Annette Bening. She was great in this. Bugsy is a really great movie. I mean, Warren Beatty. He also, I believe, he also directed this, if I'm not mistaken. He did a great job with this movie. He also had great chemistry with Annette Bening, who are both married in real life. So that's that. I mean, this movie also went in depth of who Bugsy was. I mean, Bugsy was not a good guy at all. I mean, he was a crazy guy. Anyway, and the Vegas scenes were really good to watch. I mean, the whole movie, of course, but not the whole movie, but lots of the movies, take place in Vegas, and it's a really great film. And not to mention, Bugsy in the film, also finds himself in deep water over his reckless construction of a flamingo hotel, and also, yeah, I mean, he was not that great of a guy. All right, coming in at number 2 is The Hangover. Speaking of The Hangover I love. I mean, you got Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, Zach Galifianakis, Justin Boffa, Mike Tyson, Ken Jeong. I mean, here, of course, Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, and Zach Galifianakis pretty much head to Vegas with their friend Doug, played by Justin Boffa, who of course, Justin Boffa's Doug character is getting married, so they go to Vegas to have a bachelor party, and they end up getting wasted one night, and they cannot remember a thing what happened the next morning. So, and then their friend Doug is of course missing and all that. I love The Hangover. It is really funny. I mean, it's crazy to think that this movie turns 10 years old this year. So you're gonna feel old because this movie seriously turns 10. I mean, oh boy, I feel old there. Anyway, but like I guess you could say, Vegas is like a character in this movie because I mean, in it they pretty much the characters of course stay in Caesar Palace, and they of course trash the hotel pretty badly. I mean, they throw a mattress out on the roofs. So there's that. Of course, Ken Jeong as the villain of sorts, Leslie Chow, is a great character. I loved Ken Jeong in this. And Zach Galifianakis, I mean, him as Alan stole loads of scenes. This is actually the movie that made me become a fan of Zach Galifianakis because he was great in this movie. And not to mention, you also had Heather Graham in this. Matt Walsh had a pretty funny cameo. I mean, the movie was directed by Todd Phillips, who directed all of them, and he did a great job with these movies. I really love The Hangover. And I don't care what anyone says. I also like Part 2 and 3. I know lots of people trash on the sequels, but I don't care. I really love them. And if they were to announce a Part 4 of The Hangover, I'll be down to see one because I really love these films. All right, now my number one favorite Vegas movie of all time is Casino. Now, this movie takes place in 1970s Las Vegas, and it's about a low-level mobster named Sam Ace Rupstein, played by Robert De Niro, who ends up, getting trapped by his bosses who head the Tanger's casino. And so, like, at first, he ends up succeeding in the job, but like over the years, problems with his loose cannon enforcer named Nikki Santoro, played by Joe Pesci, his ex-hustle wife named Ginger, played by Sharon Stone, and her con artist ex named Lester Diamond, played by James Woods, and a handful of corrupt politicians pretty much put Sam in ever increasing danger. And the movie is based on a book and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is great with gangster movies. I mean, of course, before this, he did Goodfellas, and you had like Goodfellas reunion with Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. I love Casino. It is really great. It's a really great crime film. I'm a sucker for the mafia genre, so that also has something to do with this film as well. I really enjoy it. I mean, this whole film. I mean, the whole film, of course, takes place in Vegas, and Vegas is also like a character in the movie. And I mean, Robert De Niro, his character was not a great guy either, as well as Joe Pesci. I know Joe Pesci wasn't as good in this as he was in Goodfellas, to be honest with you, but Joe Pesci was still terrific in this movie. Martin Scorsese directed this movie perfectly. It has a really great script in it. I mean, Don Rickles, the late great Don Rickles, is even in this, and he was awesome in this movie. I really enjoy Casino. I mean, if you guys still never seen Casino by now, it's a highly recommended watch. It's really great. And it's also probably going to be my top 10 Martin Scorsese movies when I make that once The Irishman comes out. So, yeah. But anyway, definitely check out Casino. It's really fun. And this movie also made me have a bit of a crush on Sharon Stone. I mean, that woman doesn't age at all. I mean, Sharon Stone is like 61 years old, and that woman still looks good. I mean, if you guys never seen Basic Instinct, come on. Anyway, and Sharon Stone, like, I think she probably should have maybe won her like an Oscar for this because I think it's her best performance she's given. And I mean, I can't really recall this movie really scored an Oscar love. I probably should double check that, but if not, this movie should score lots of Oscar wins and nominations because it's a great film. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, Viva Las Vegas. 9, Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas. 8, Fear Loathing in Las Vegas. 7, Rayman. 6, Las Vegas. 5, Ocean's 11. 4, Leaving Las Vegas. 3, Bugsy. 2, The Hangover. 1, Casino. Now, there's a few other ones I probably could have added. Showgirls is also a guilty pleasure of mine. I mean, it's not that great of a movie, to be honest with you, but it's pretty much one of my favorite bad films, to be honest with you. It's not a good movie or anything, but I really enjoy watching it. I mean, one of these days I should do like my top 10 guilty pleasures, and Showgirls might actually end up in that list. So maybe one of these days I'll do my guilty pleasure list. Anyway, there's also What Happens in Vegas with Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz. Think Like a Man 2. Let's see. Vegas Vacation, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, The Cooler with William H. Macy's a good one. Let's see. Honeymoon in Vegas, which also has Nick Cage in it. Definitely Not Leprechaun 3. Miss Congeniality is a good one. The film Elvis, That's the Way It Is. That's a good one. I mean, Elvis did love Vegas so much. There's a few really good ones here. Let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite Vegas movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas O signing off.